Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely, because what I'm about to say can change your life. We all know that the people we surround ourselves with shape our future. The energy they bring, the words they speak, the actions they take, these things influence who we become. But here's the truth. Some people don't deserve a place in your life. Some people will ask for things that will drain you, hold you back, and leave you less than you were before. They'll demand your time, your loyalty, your help, and your forgiveness, but without ever giving anything in return. And if you don't recognize this, if you don't set boundaries, your dreams, your energy, and your progress will be stolen from you. This is the moment you start protecting your life, your peace, and your future. You must stop allowing people to take what they don't deserve. This speech is for the ones who are ready to break free from toxic relationships, to reclaim their power, and to rise higher than they ever thought possible. Say with me, because what you're about to hear will make you think differently, act differently, and live differently. There are people in your life who will constantly ask for your time, yet never respect it. They will pull you in every direction, expect you to drop everything for them, and yet when it's your turn to ask for a moment of attention or support, they're nowhere to be found. You might be thinking, why does it feel like I'm always giving but never receiving? It's because you've allowed people into your life who don't value your time, and in doing so, you're depleting your energy, your focus, and ultimately your future. Think about this. Time is the most valuable resource you have. It's the one thing you can never get back. Once a moment passes, it's gone forever. And yet, people will come into your life and waste it as if it's theirs to take. They'll ask for your attention at all hours, create chaos when you're trying to focus, and make you feel guilty for prioritizing your own goals. Why? Because they have no respect for your time. They want what they want when they want it, and if you're not careful, you'll end up constantly chasing after them, losing pieces of yourself in the process. But here's the real kicker. The people who are constantly asking for your time without giving it back don't even realize the damage they're doing. They've trained you to be the one who's always available, who drops everything for them, and who's constantly in rescue mode. It's not because they need you, they simply want the convenience of you at any moment, whenever they feel the need. And when they have you, they take. But when you need them, silence. Their world continues while yours crumbles. You're left wondering why you keep investing in relationships where you're constantly the one giving, but never receiving. So what do you do about it? You set a boundary. You create a line in the sand. You make it clear that your time is valuable. And here's the truth. If they truly care about you, they'll respect that. They'll understand that you have other priorities, that you need time for yourself, that you need time for your dreams. They won't just expect you to be available on their terms. They'll understand that the value you bring to them is because you are investing in your own growth. It's essential to realize that when someone consistently takes your time without ever offering anything in return, they're not just stealing from you, they're taking away your potential. They're distracting you from your goals, they're draining your energy, and slowly but surely, they're setting you up for failure. Because when you're constantly focused on their needs, their problems, and their demands, how can you possibly focus on your own? You can't. And that's how they win. They get your attention. And in doing so, they rob you of your ability to focus on what truly matters, your future, your dreams, your mission. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but they're my friend, they need me, they're family, they've been there for me before. And listen, I get it. You want to help, you want to be there. But here's the truth you need to swallow. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give your time, your energy, and your resources to people who refuse to respect it. If they truly cared about you, they would not drain you to the point of exhaustion. They would recognize that your time is precious. They would make it a priority to respect it. If someone constantly asks for your time but never gives any of their own, that's not a relationship, it's a transaction. They're taking from you without giving anything back, and the more you let them, the more they'll take. They'll take your time, they'll take your energy, and eventually they'll take your passion, your dreams, and your very sense of purpose. Here's the hard truth. You're in control of how much you give. You decide how much of your time is spent on others and how much of it is spent on your own growth and success. If you don't draw the line, no one else will. People will keep asking, and if you keep saying yes, they'll keep taking. It's time to reclaim your life. It's time to protect your most valuable resource. Start saying no to the people who ask for your time without ever giving it back. Protect your focus, protect your energy, and most importantly, protect your future. When you begin to respect your own time, the people who truly value you will step forward. They'll understand that your time is sacred, and they'll honor it. The others, they'll fade away. And you'll be left with the space to achieve what you were always meant to achieve. And that, my friends, is when everything changes. There are people in your life who will ask for your loyalty without ever earning it. They expect you to stand by them, defend them, and support them, no matter what. But when it comes to their turn to show up for you, they're nowhere to be found. And I'm not talking about the occasional misstep or moment of weakness. I'm talking about a pattern of behavior. These are the individuals who, time and time again, ask for your unwavering loyalty, but show no willingness to give that same loyalty in return. What does that mean for you? It means you're investing in a one-sided relationship. You're giving all of your energy, all of your trust, and all of your commitment to someone who wouldn't do the same for you if the tables were turned. Loyalty is a two-way street. It's built on mutual respect, mutual effort, and a shared understanding that both people are in it together. But when loyalty is one-sided, it becomes an imbalance. It becomes a liability. We've all been there. Someone comes into our life with promises of, I've got your back, or I'll be there no matter what. They make you feel secure, like you've found someone who truly understands you and cares about your well-being. But then, when the going gets tough, when you need them the most, they're nowhere to be found. They vanish. Or worse, they stand by and watch as you fight your battles alone. And in that moment, you realize that the loyalty they promised was nothing more than empty words. Now, let me be clear. Loyalty is one of the most powerful forces you can offer. It's a gift that should never be taken lightly, but it's also a gift that must be earned. It's not something you give away freely to anyone who asks. It's something that's built over time through trust, through actions, and through shared experiences. True loyalty isn't about being there in the good times. It's about standing by someone when things are difficult, when challenges arise, and when life tests you both. That's the loyalty you deserve. So why do we continue to give our loyalty to people who haven't earned it? Why do we keep showing up for others when they never show up for us? The truth is, we often feel obligated. We've been conditioned to believe that loyalty is a duty, something we owe to the people we care about, regardless of whether or not they've earned it. We want to be the good friend, the supportive partner, the reliable teammate. But here's the problem. When you keep giving loyalty to people who haven't proven they deserve it, you're only setting yourself up for disappointment. You're investing in a relationship that is built on empty promises, and that's never going to bring you the fulfillment or the support you need. At some point, you have to ask yourself, are they really loyal to me? Are they showing up for me in the way I show up for them? Are they willing to make sacrifices, to put in the effort, to be there when things aren't easy? If the answer is no, then it's time to reevaluate your commitment to them. It's time to stop giving your loyalty to people who take it for granted and start reserving it for those who truly deserve it. It's not about being ruthless or cold. It's about being smart with your energy. It's about protecting yourself and your future. When you invest your loyalty in people who are willing to give it back to you, who respect you, who have your best interest at heart, that's when you build relationships that are strong, lasting, and truly fulfilling. That's when you surround yourself with people who lift you up, who support your dreams, and who are willing to go the extra mile to see you succeed. Those are the relationships worth nurturing. When you continue to give your loyalty to people who haven't earned it, You're holding yourself back. You're tying yourself to relationships that drain your energy and leave you feeling unsupported. You're spending your precious time and emotional investment on people who will never reciprocate. And in doing so, you're limiting your potential. You're keeping yourself stuck in situations that prevent you from growing and becoming the best version of yourself. It's time to take a hard look at the relationships in your life and ask yourself, are these people worthy of my loyalty? Are they showing up for me in the ways that I show up for them? If the answer is no, then it's time to let go. It's time to stop pouring your energy into people who won't pour it back into you. It's time to surround yourself with individuals who earn your loyalty every day through their actions, their words, and their commitment to your shared success. Remember this, you don't owe anyone your loyalty just because they ask for it. You owe it to yourself to give it to those who truly deserve it. And when you do, you'll find that the relationships in your life become stronger, deeper, and more rewarding. You'll no longer be the one giving all of yourself to people who don't appreciate it. Instead, you'll be building a life filled with meaningful connections that support your growth, your success, and your happiness. And that's where your real power lies. There are people in your life who will constantly ask for your help, but never help themselves. These are the ones who seem to be in a constant state of crisis, always needing your support, always needing you to pick up the pieces. But when it's their turn to step up and take responsibility, they disappear. They don't want transformation. They want a crutch. They want you to do the heavy lifting while they sit back and wait for you to make things better. And if you keep enabling this behavior, you're not just helping them, you're enabling their failure. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. How often do you find yourself in a situation where you give your time, your energy, your resources to someone only for them to repeat the same mistakes over and over again? They'll ask for your help and you'll give it. You'll provide advice, you'll offer your time, and you'll do everything you can to lift them up. But after all of that effort, what do you get in return? The same old patterns, the same excuses, the same cycle of crisis, and the same people who expect you to come in and fix things for them. This is where the trap lies. You want to help. You want to be there for the people you care about. You want to make a difference in their lives. But when they refuse to help themselves, when they refuse to take responsibility for their own growth, they're not just relying on you, they're relying on you to live their life for them. And the moment you realize this, you have a choice to make. Will you continue to feed into their neediness, or will you make the decision to stop enabling their inaction? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you're the one who can fix everything. You're the one who has the answers. You're the one who can turn their life around. And while it's noble to want to help, you have to understand that true help comes from empowering people to help themselves. When you keep rescuing someone, you're taking away their opportunity to learn, to grow, and to take responsibility for their own future. You're doing them a disservice, even if it feels good in the moment. When someone refuses to take the steps necessary to improve their situation, it's not your job to carry the weight for them. It's not your job to make their choices for them or to repeatedly jump in and save them from the consequences of their own actions. You see, people grow through their struggles. They learn by taking ownership of their challenges. And when you keep stepping in to do the work for them, you rob them of the chance to experience that growth. You might be thinking, but they need me, and I get it. You want to be the support, the safety net. But here's the cold, hard truth. You can't be the person who always rescues someone who won't do the work themselves. You can't live their life for them. And no matter how much you give, no matter how many times you bail them out, they will never change unless they make the decision to change themselves. They'll keep relying on you, and you'll keep enabling their stagnation. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't help. You should absolutely be there for the people you care about. But there's a huge difference between helping and enabling. Helping is about offering support that leads to growth, giving guidance, giving advice, encouraging them to take action, and helping them find their own way. Enabling is about stepping in and solving their problems for them over and over again while they sit back and refuse to take responsibility. One leads to growth, the other leads to dependency. So, what do you do? How do you stop enabling people who refuse to help themselves? The first step is setting boundaries. It's about recognizing when you're being asked to help in a way that hinders the other person's growth. It's about saying, I can't keep doing this for you. I'm here to support you, but I'm not going to live your life for you. And it's not an easy conversation to have because people don't like to hear that they're not being helped. They'll argue, they'll plead, they'll try to guilt you into doing more, but you have to be strong. You have to stand firm. You're not doing anyone any favors by enabling their inaction. The second step is empowering them. Help them find the tools, the resources, and the strength within themselves to make changes. Give them the support they need to take responsibility for their own life. Encourage them to take action, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's hard. If you really care about them, you'll stop rescuing them and start guiding them towards self-sufficiency. And here's the real secret to breaking the cycle. When you stop enabling people who refuse to help themselves, you make space for the people who are ready to grow, who are ready to take action, and who will support you in return. You'll stop wasting your energy on those who drain you, and you'll begin to invest your time in relationships that actually bring you both forward. You'll see the power of mutual growth, of giving and receiving, of building something together that is rooted in respect and self-empowerment. And in that space of growth, both for you and for the people around you, that's when true change happens. There are people who will ask for your forgiveness over and over again, but never change. They'll make the same mistakes, hurt you again, and yet expect you to forgive them every time, without ever showing any signs of growth or improvement. This is a dangerous cycle, one that keeps you stuck in a pattern of hurt, and it's time you recognize it for what it is. You can forgive someone once, maybe twice, but when the same behavior keeps repeating itself, you have to ask yourself, is this really forgiveness? Or is it simply enabling a toxic cycle? Forgiveness is a powerful thing. It's a gift you give not only to the other person, but to yourself. It frees you from the burden of carrying resentment and anger. It's essential to let go of the past so you can move forward. But here's the difference. True forgiveness isn't about letting someone off the hook for their actions. It's not about pretending what happened didn't hurt. It's not about sweeping things under the rug and acting like everything is fine when it isn't. True forgiveness is about releasing the hold that hurt has on you. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional weight that keeps you anchored to someone else's mistake. But this only works if the person who wronged you is actually changing, evolving, and making a conscious effort to not repeat those same mistakes. When someone keeps asking for forgiveness but never changes their behavior, they aren't learning, they aren't growing, they're stuck in a pattern. And what they really want from you is a free pass to keep repeating that behavior without any consequences. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that forgiveness means you have to allow people to walk all over you, but it doesn't. It's about letting go of the hurt without continuing to let that hurt control your decisions, but also drawing the line when it comes to the same mistake happening again. I want you to think about the last time someone asked for your forgiveness after they hurt you. What did they do after that? Did they show genuine remorse? Did they make a conscious effort to change, to prove that they understood the pain they caused and were committed to not repeating it? Or did they just offer an apology and expect you to move on without any real effort on their part? If it's the latter, then it's time to recognize that what you're dealing with isn't real forgiveness, it's just manipulation. It's someone using your compassion to cover their inability to grow. I know this can be hard to hear because we've all been taught that forgiveness is the right thing to do, that we're supposed to be the bigger person, that we're supposed to let things go and move forward. And yes, forgiveness is vital, but only when it's accompanied by real change. Without change, forgiveness is meaningless. It's not helping you, and it's certainly not helping the person who continues to hurt you. In fact, it only allows them to continue walking down the same destructive path. And that's not something you should be part of. You might be wondering, but what if they say they're sorry? What if they promise it won't happen again? Listen, we've all heard those promises. We've all heard the heartfelt apologies, the tears, the assurances that, so it won't happen again. But words mean nothing without action. Anyone can apologize. Anyone can say what they think you want to hear, but it's their actions that matter. True change comes from consistent effort, from taking responsibility for their actions, and from making real, tangible steps toward becoming a better person. And if they're not doing that, then they're not ready for your forgiveness, not in the way you deserve to offer it. And this is where the hard truth lies. You are not obligated to keep forgiving someone who refuses to change. You do not have to tolerate hurt and disrespect simply because someone offers you a shallow apology. Forgiveness is not about ignoring your worth or disregarding how you deserve to be treated. It's about healing yourself, not giving someone else the freedom to keep hurting you. You have to protect your peace. You have to understand that constantly forgiving someone who is not making an effort to change is like letting them walk over you time and time again without any consequences. It's a pattern that only keeps you stuck, preventing you from moving forward. You are worthy of relationships where forgiveness isn't needed constantly because both sides are doing the work to maintain trust, respect, and growth. So what do? You forgive once, maybe twice, but you don't keep putting yourself in a position to be hurt again. You set the standard for what you'll tolerate. You hold people accountable. You show them that real forgiveness comes with responsibility. You protect your boundaries. And if someone repeatedly crosses them, you don't allow them to take up space in your life. Forgiveness is a gift, but it's a gift that needs to be earned. It's not something you give freely to someone who has no intention of changing. You're not a doormat, and your kindness shouldn't be taken for granted. You deserve respect, you deserve consistency, and you deserve to see people grow and evolve, not continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. And here's the most important point. When you stop enabling toxic behavior by constantly forgiving those who refuse to change, you create space for healthier, more meaningful relationships built on trust, respect, and true transformation. You take back your power and protect your emotional well-being, and that's when you start living a life of strength, growth, and authenticity.